Yeah, we back. Now, y'all remember that video I dropped last week where I spoke about how Tariq Nasheed's FBA movement has destroyed the Do For Self movement? And not only did he destroy it, but he actually decreased the collective consciousness of our people to a state that it has never been seen before. Mentally, Tariq Nasheed has taken us back to the plantation days. I'm dead serious. Now, I'm going to play this video that he posted on his Twitter, and then I'm going to come back with my commentary on why I said what I said and why I think what I think. Let's go. Run the footage.
Deep down in my heart, I'm ethnocentric, which means I think my race is the superior one.
Oh, I haven't said it.
Wait, no, let me finish. Let me finish.
Hey, look.
So, white is better than all.
No, let me finish. Let me
Go
finish.
ahead.
Hey,
I think everybody thinks that, they're just not honest about
hey,
it.
I'm not racist though. I like all types of kinds.
Did I say I don't like people?
People only
You
think
just
that.
Wait, so you said you are what? You are
You
racist?
saying you're like,
You're
I think
racist?
everybody's a racist at that level.
No, you said you are racist. Correct?
I did. Yeah, I'm
Say
trying to
it.
be
Yes,
honest.
I am racist.
No, I'm not saying it again. I've said it enough.
So you're
I
racist.
think I slightly told you to stop speaking.
Yes, you
Put your phone up.
I respected you.
I'm
I
putting the
actually
phone up.
respected you for a while, but like
I'm putting the
now,
phone up.
I don't even got no more respect for you.
Put it up.
Yeah, for real. I don't think I got respect for him no more, bro.
You know, you should have more respect because I'm
Yeah, now let's get into it, man. First things first, I just want y'all to know that Tariq Nasheed does not give a damn about that teacher. He does not give a damn about them kids. He does not give a damn about what's happening in them classrooms. Listen, he got bills to pay, and how he stays relevant is by getting black people emotionally triggered, keeping black people emotionally off balance, you know? So when you're going through your day, you at work, you at home on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, and then you on Twitter, and then you see some white man talking about, oh my God, you know, I think my race is superior. And then what he expects you to do is to jump out your body, jump out your seat, you know what I mean? Grab your pitchforks. Oh my God. Oh, the white people, they don't like it. Oh my God. You know what I mean? This is what keeps Tariq in business, right? This is what keeps Tariq in business. When he comes across a video like this, he rubs his hands together and he's like, oh man, I'm about to kill him with this. I'm about to get him with this, because he knows the engagement level is going to be monumental. He knows that the visibility of his social media is going to be through the roof. He knows that his next live stream is going to do numbers. This is the backbone to his business. Now, let's get into it, man. First things first, let's examine the tweet, right? And let's examine why I say that Tariq Nasheed has destroyed the Do For Self movement and has destroyed our level of collective consciousness. Let's get into it. When I see a video like this, number one, I do not get triggered because I was around the age of 8-9 years old the first time I learned about Emmett Till, right? I had actually learned about Emmett Till by accident. I was at home surfing the internet. Now, this was the time when, in order to get on the internet, you had to disconnect the landline telephone in order to access the internet, right? So, you know, I had to get my dad to, you know what I mean, disconnect the phones so I could get online. So I'm surfing online. You know, you're just a kid. You just, you know, on the computer, you know, playing your Nickelodeon video games. And somehow I just ended up on the Emmett Till story, right? And I seen the face. I've seen, you know, how them white boys destroyed his face, you know what I mean? Beat him to an oblivion, beat him to a bloody pulp. And ever since then, I knew what it was. I knew what time it was, bro. I knew what time it was. You could never trigger me by showing me footage of white people being racist. Another thing too, when I was a young child, my mother would always sit me on her lap and she would tell me about our history, right? Now I'm Haitian, so she would teach me about the revolution. So I was 8, 9, 10 years old. You know, my mom told me all the atrocities that the French committed and how we came through, cut their head off, threw them in the sea, assassinated their wives, assassinated their children, you know, so I knew what it was. I knew that the French had built their wealth by destroying my people. I knew that the wealth of Europe was built by destroying my people. I knew that as a child. Third thing, when I was learning how to read, you got to understand English was my second language, right? I spent my formative years in Haiti, right? So I learned how to walk, talk in Haiti, came here around the age of 3, 4, 5 years old, right? Very young child. So my father would give me books to read so I can hone my English, so I can strengthen my English, understand the language. The books that he would give me to read would be books like Malcolm X, you know, Nelson Mandela, you know, just books about black history around the world, not just from my culture, but around the world, right? So from a very young age, indirectly, my father also instilled a lot of knowledge and information in me at a very young age. So by the time I was 11, 12 years old, you know, I pretty much knew what it was, right? When you see these kids in this classroom, they are so shocked. They jumping out their seat. They, oh, wow, oh my God. You know what I mean? Because in their mind, they've been fed the propaganda that we are all together. We are all equal. We are all family. We are all the human race. We are all God's children. So when a white man sits up in their face and says, yes, I'm ethnocentric. Yes, I love my people. Yes, I love my culture. Yes, I think my people are better than yours. They just couldn't understand understand it. They couldn't believe it. You see the white people in the classroom, you notice they just laugh. If you look, the white boys, he's sitting there laughing. You're like, ha, 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 ha. The black kid like, oh my God, I love all people. You heard that one black kid? He says, I love everybody. I love all people. I love all people of all kinds. You know what I mean? Because his parents did not mentally equip him with the facts and the truth about the world that he lives in as a young black man. They gave him the sugar-coated PG version, Disney movie version of what the world is and what the world is about. That is why you have so many black people who are grown adults who are completely clueless on their history, on who they are and where they're supposed to go and what route they're supposed to take. We are a race of lost people, a broken people, a people who doesn't know where they're going and doesn't know where they've been. A race of people who mentally we've been defeated. The number one thing you need to be on point in any competition, you have to be on point mentally. Even if you're playing sports, once you get your opponent mentally psyched out, mentally defeated, even if he's more athletically gifted than you, he will lose the game. He won't even win the game because mentally he's not even equipped to compete. He does not have the will to compete. He doesn't have the desire to compete because mentally he's not being a competitor, right? So listen, I saw this video and I didn't get surprised, bro. I didn't get surprised. I mean, anybody who studies history should understand exactly what the white race feels about the black race. In the year 2022, with the level of information that has been made available, nobody should be surprised that a white person feels that they are superior to other races. In fact, if a white man stands in front of me and tells me that I love everybody, the human race, I love everybody, we all God's children, I won't even believe him. And in fact, I'll get angry at him for lying to me. Yes, I'll get angry for blatantly sitting in my face and lying to me. Now, he might be a good person, but I still wouldn't believe him because I guarantee that even if he might be a good person, I guarantee he got brothers, he got uncles, he got somebody in his family that feels exactly how this white man on this video feels as well. And due to that fact, it would automatically negate any credit that he has established. Now, the reason why I say that Tariq Nasheed has destroyed the Do For Self movement is because during the Do For Self movement, do you know how black people collectively would have reacted to this video right here? And thankfully, we got some people still with that mentality in the comment section that replied to Tariq Nasheed as well. Check out this tweet right now. A man by the name Lumumba, no surprise, Pan-Africanist, obviously. He said, no, Tariq, we don't need reparations for this. We need our own damn schools to educate our own kids. Malcolm X was on point. Now, yes, what did Tariq Nasheed say? He said that this is the reason why we need reparations and we need legislation passed by the white man. Tariq Nasheed did not see this video and say, wow, we need to get our kids out of these institutions, man. We need to get our kids out of these classrooms learning about George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. Tariq Nasheed seen this video and he said, this is the reason we need to go to the white man and ask him for money and legislation. Do you understand why that response is so backwards and low IQ? So because a white man just admitted on camera that he believes that his race is superior to the black race, we need to go back to the white man and ask him for money and legislation. In response to a white man saying on camera that he believes the white race is superior to all other races, Tariq Nasheed did not look at those children and be like, damn man, why we got our kids going to these classrooms being taught by people who don't even love them? Black men need to build our own schools, our own universities, our own high schools, our own institutions of learning for our own children to be taught by people who care about them, by people who will properly instruct them, people who have their best interests at heart, and people who will teach them about their identity in an authentic manner. Tariq Nasheed has destroyed our people. Tariq Nasheed has brought our collective consciousness and I would dare say our collective intelligence and IQ to a lower state. 10 years ago, everybody would have been like, man, this is why we need our own. This is why we need to get our own stuff, man. This is why we need our own teachers, our own everything. Tariq Nasheed has said this is why we need to go to the white man and ask him for stuff. And this is why I say he has destroyed the Do For Self movement, because he actually has people in the comment section that actually agree with him, that are actually triggered. You even have people that can't even believe what they see. It's 2022 and you will see people in the comment section, in the responses, actually saying, wow, I can't believe it. Oh my God, wow. So you can imagine if there are black adults who probably have children who are grown that pay taxes and pay bills that are shocked when they see a white man actually stand in front of them and tell them the God honest truth. You can only imagine the delusions and the lies that they're teaching their children about the world that they live in. You can understand why there's so many black children in this classroom that couldn't even believe it. If it was me in that classroom, I would have been like, yeah, I knew it. I know how y'all get down. I knew it. But because we are such a lost race, such a miseducated race, such a race that does not know what's going on in the world that they live in, a race of delusional people, we still cannot believe when a white man stands in front of them and tells them what they've been telling us since the 15th century. Even in the 1800s, in the 19th century, they actually tried to legitimize these thoughts by phrenology. They even came up with certain diagnoses such as drapetomania, where if you were a black person, for example, in the 1800s living on a plantation, if you desired to be free, they said that was a mental illness. They called it drapetomania. They said if you were a black man or woman and you no longer wanted to live in bondage and you wanted to be free, they said that you were mentally ill. They said you were a drapetomaniac, and they actually had certain medical treatments to treat drapetomania. Which really, it was just physical abuse and torture. That's really how they treated it. But anybody who studies history, how can you not come to any other conclusion but the white race feels superior to all races? And yes, he did kind of tell some truth when he said that everybody is ethnocentric. Yes, everybody who is intelligent, you love yourself, you love your people, you love your ancestors, you love your culture. That is a fact. Now, because black people, we do not love our people, we do not love our culture, we do not care about our ancestors. All we care about is Jesus. He's the only ancestor that we worship, even though he's not even our ancestor because he wasn't even African or a black person or anyone indigenous to our lands. He was not even related to us, but we worship him. We don't worship our ancestors. The majority of us do not care about our ancestors. We do not love ourselves or our culture. We are not ethnocentric, and that is why we are at the bottom. If you ask a Jewish person if he's ethnocentric or, whatever the term for that would be, yes, they are. They love themselves. They love their people. They marry among their people. They do business among their people. But because we are so far removed from reality and we do not do any of these things, we get surprised and we get insulted when another race does what we are supposed to do, because we do not believe that we are actually living in a competition for wealth and resources for our children. We think that everybody is holding hands singing, "We are the world, we are the children." You know what I mean? We think that everybody loves everybody. We all God's children. So when we see a white person tell the truth, we get insulted because it destroys our illusion that we feed ourselves and we feed our children that everybody is together. Martin Luther King came and gave everybody equality. So yes, when a white man tells you the truth, you get mad, you get upset. And instead of taking this as a wake-up call that, wow, I need to stop sending my kids to these white schools, man. I got to send my kids to, schools made for us and by us. And I went to a private Catholic institution my whole life from beginning to end. And guess what? All my intelligence, all my knowledge of self, all my knowledge of history, it came from only 3 sources: my mother, my grandmother, and the information that I studied independently. The only thing school taught me was about the greatness of Napoleon, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, the Greeks and the Romans, and the conquest of the British, the French, the Spanish, and the Portuguese, and the American revolutionaries. That is the only thing school taught me about. And this is where we send our kids to go learn. And I'm going to be honest, when we send our kids to these institutions where they are forced to learn about the history of men who absolutely hated their existence, I would equate that to child abuse. But you know what's sad? We are such a lost race that we equate that to success and progress when we send our kids to the white schools in the white neighborhood with the white teachers. And I'm spitting facts. We look at that as prestigious. And let me tell you, bro, how can you expect to progress as a people when you look at sending your kids to schools ran by people of other groups as success and progress? And then you get upset when those people stand in your face and tell you they don't like you. They've never ever told you that they liked you. They've always been telling you consistently for the past 4 or 5 centuries that they absolutely hate you in so many ways. They've literally set you on fire. They literally cooked you, ate you for dinner. They literally threw you inside barrels studded with spikes, threw you down mountaintops. They literally cut your ears off, made you eat them. They literally made you take a dump, made you eat your own feces. They literally made you drink your own urine. I mean, bro, come on, bro. How many different ways they can tell you they hate you, bro? They've literally hung pregnant women from trees and set their bodies on fire. But if you study this history, how could you ever be surprised that a white man told you that he believes his race and his culture is superior to all others? And how can you be so backwards mentally that you think a proper response to that type of information would be to ask that same group of white men to give you trillions of dollars and pass legislation that only benefits you? How does that make any sense at all? And the worst part about it is Tariq Nasheed did not even mention that we need to educate our own children. We need to establish institutions, centers of learning for our own children, ran by us, funded by us, built by us, backed by us. He does not even mention that because his goal is to destroy the Do For Self movement. His goal is to destroy any inclination, any will, any personal spirit of independence that black people could possibly have. Because if we actually did for self and actually did like the Jewish community and educated our own children, then videos like this would not even exist, because white teachers would not even have access to our children to even teach them or get around them or to abuse them or to discriminate against them, because they would be under our leadership and our instruction independently, like it was since the beginning of time. So listen, man, I'm just gonna wrap it up by saying we need to do for self. We need our own everything from top to bottom. Educational institutions, grocery stores, banks, record labels, construction companies, insurance companies. We need to have our own clothes, our own factories, manufacturing our own everything. We need our own electronic companies, manufacturing our own laptops, cell phones, tablets, everything, top to bottom. We need our own car companies, so we don't got to go to the Germans and the British and the Italians. We need to go and have our own luxury cars. Forget the Benz, forget the G-Class. My driveway is full of Benzes, for sure. The Benzes are beautiful cars, but where's the black man's equivalent of the Mercedes-Benz? Where's the black man's equivalent of the BMW? We need our own everything. And when we get our own everything, guess what? We will be fully insulated. We will be fully insulated, just like the Jewish community that we love to hate on and criticize and talk about how much power they have because we're a bunch of jealous haters. We would have our own everything, and then people will be talking about us in the same way they talk about the Jewish community. They'll be saying, oh man, those black men got so much power. Damn, why does black men got so much power like that? You can't even say nothing about black men. As soon as you criticize black men, they coming down, you're gonna lose your job, you're gonna lose your house, you're gonna lose your family. You know what I'm saying? Instead of us always sitting on the sidelines crying like some bitches, everybody would be pointing the finger at us and saying that we got too much power. Everybody would be jealous of us. But considering, like I said in the beginning of the video, we are a race of defeated people, a race of broken people, a race of clueless people. Nobody will ever talk that way about us because we have no plan. We don't know where we've been. We don't know where we're going. We sitting around waiting for the white man to open the doors for us because we too scared to go out on our own and do for self and build for self. And that is what keeps men like Tariq Nasheed in business. And that is why he'll never mention doing for self, because the day we do for self is the day that he will be out on the streets, broke and homeless, and his kids won't have no food to eat, and his wife is going to divorce him because he's going to have to sell that house because the white man is going to repossess it because he won't have the money to pay his bills. It's your boy Nefakar Desaline back in the building, yes indeed, and I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you in court. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and get smack in their faces.